There's way less injury news to talk about this week, but we do have omarion Hampton on the IR with the ankle injury. That's the big news. He's going to miss at least 4 games. I'm expecting him to miss only 4, but maybe that's just me being a Charger fan. Brenton Strange is on the IR with a hip injury. I dropped him. He's kind of a nothing burger if he's not on the field. Joe Flacco is traded to the Bengals. That's some good news. You have Flacco showing up on a team that desperately needs good quarterback play. Jake Browning has been dog shit, to be frank. So I would, at this point, um, chase T. Higgins. We don't know if they're going to be viable, but definitely starting Chase and probably starting T. Higgins and hoping that Joe Flacco can make this a competitive offense. Kendrick Bourne pops off in what I'm dubbing the Bourne game. It was the Niner Ram game, and it was a 3-point game victory for the Niners. Kendrick Bourne pops off. Like he went off that game. So he gets his own little name. It's the Bourne game. Like he went off. He is Jason Bourne. Bucky Irving will miss another 2 weeks minimum with the shoulder injury. He also has a sprained foot, but apparently the shoulder injury is the main concern. Last week I said when there's smoke, there's fire. Avoid Bucky Irving. Looks like there is a fire, and it is Bucky Irving's entire body. And you have the Vikings and the Texans on bye, so we have 4 teams going back to work, and we have 2 teams going on the bye, the Vikings and the Texans. So not too much to talk about in terms of injuries, but we're still going to be ranking these 14 teams for week 6. Before we talk about any of these teams here, we're going to be talking about the 3 trades that's happened so far, starting with this one that happened this past week. We had Brian Thomas moved for Teteroa McMillan. I don't know. I would just keep. Maybe I would try to keep Brian Thomas, understanding that he's probably in a better team environment and that he probably has the better upside case. But I understand Brian Thomas has been disappointing, so I'm fine with either side. If you believe that Tet is better than Brian Thomas for this year, go ahead. The second trade that happened was the Roma Dunze deal, where I traded Roma Dunze away for Trey McBride and Xavier Worthy. Now, this allowed for the second Kansas City receiver to join with Rashee Rice. So we have Rice and Worthy on the same team. And then it allows me to get the elite tight end in Trey McBride, pair him up with Tyler Warren. So we have the best tight end room in the league, along with a double stack potential. Of course, at this moment, I do not have Patrick Mahomes. The third trade is a Patrick Mahomes trade. This is the Patrick Mahomes trade. I get Patrick Mahomes for Deebo Samuel and Michael Penix, understanding that quarterbacks matter way less than, say, a super flex league, right? Where you're instead of starting 2 quarterbacks and instead of getting these 6 points per passing touchdown, this is a standard 4 points per passing touchdown league, and you can only start 1 quarterback at a time, where you need to start at least 3 wide receivers. Probably going to need to start 4 wide receivers each and every week. So a player like Deebo Samuel matters a lot since they're the wide receiver 1 in a good offense. I think this could go either way. If you believe that Deebo Samuel is a really good player, that'll get a lot of target volume. I could see going the other way with this, but I just wanted Mahomes with Rice and Worthy. That's why I did it, and I think it's a good move. Now let's talk about the teams. So normally I would go 14th to number 1, and that's the traditional way we do things here. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to be going matchup by matchup and talking about these teams simultaneously. Number 2 rated Winton versus number 14 rated the Bourne Legacy. New name. I like the name. Let's talk about the Bourne Legacy first, because they're missing Nico Collins. That's a big loss. But what you do have is Kendrick Bourne potentially could pop off, but I'm not a big fan of DeAndre Hopkins. I tried to start someone else over DeAndre Hopkins, but he does have big play potential. It's kind of what you need to beat this team that I have. If you want a chance, you want to get some crazy value from somebody. So I understand starting him over like Tyron Tracy. And then if Brock Bowers plays, you start him. But at the moment, I don't know if he will play. He did not practice Wednesday, so That's definitely something to be concerned of. Chigakonkwo is whatever. I'm fine with starting Chig for a few points. You're probably gonna get like 4 points, maybe, from Chigakonkwo, and if you get a touchdown, then that's good, but we haven't seen that yet. On the other side, not too much to talk about except for the Mahomes stack that is new. We have Patrick Mahomes. He had a good game in the loss against Jacksonville, but alas, it was not enough. You still have Xavier Worthy, who I am starting against the Lions, and then we have Rice on the bench, as well as Trey McBride and Tyler Warren both starting. I have Tyler Warren in the flex and McBride in the starting lineup. If Kyler Murray doesn't play, then this team gets much worse. I'm fine with starting. I would still start McBride. He's still the elite tight end. And I would have to start Marvin Harrison. I do not have a choice, to be honest. Like, who am I going to start? Am I going to be going and putting in Keishon Butte? I'm not putting in Booty, bro. Like, I can't do that. So, I mean, like, there's nothing to do. But yeah, I have Winton ranked 2 and the Born Legacy ranked 14th. Of course, this is going to be big for standings. Winton is 5-0, the only 5-0 team in the league, trying to get the first seed, which would be a bye week. I would not have to play week 15. That's a big advantage. The Born Legacy is trying to stay alive. Did get the win last week, but still 1-4, and now you're going to have to run into a really tough team. So um, realistically, you can lose maybe 7 games and make the playoffs as a 7-7 team. So there's not many losses left for the Born Legacy to endure. The second matchup. So this matchup, I can't believe Evan has renamed his team to Speed Picks Up Water. Uh, I can't. What the fuck is this? What? I can't even. Whatever. Okay. Speed Picks Up Water 2-3 versus Team J5 Moto 4-1. So, just to start, I have J5 Moto narrowly beating Speed Picks Up Water here. And that's because Justin Jefferson is out. It's going to be a harder matchup for him. He does still have Jake Ferguson against the Panthers. He is starting Darren Waller against the Chargers, who've not looked impressive as of late. He also has Jonathan Taylor against the Cardinals, who they look awful. I'm fine with him starting all these players, even Travis Hunter, who had a good game last week, had 7 fantasy points, but I think he'll get more looks as time goes on. And then if we look at Devontae Adams, you're definitely starting Devontae, right? He's playing pretty damn good. He shouldn't be on the bench to begin with. So, yeah, start him over Justin Jefferson, who's on bye. But that's about it for this team, J5 Moto. We're going to be talking about the losing team now. Josh Allen playing against the Falcons. Sure, he could probably go off, to be honest, but sure, 24 points maybe. That could happen. Lad McConkey's playing Miami. He finally does something. Lad does. But I don't know if he's going to do anything against Miami, to be honest. He could. The Chargers have traditionally done pretty well against the Dolphins, so I'm fine with you starting Lad McConkey. And Jamar Chase, we don't know what's going to happen with the Joe Flacco news. Joe Flacco's in town, so yeah, start Chase, fine, go for it. But I have, for the ranking, I have Speed Picks Up Water at number 6, J5 Moto at number 5. I see you also got Hassan Haskins here at the bench. You can go ahead and start him straight over RJ Harvey, who does not look to have nearly as many touches as Haskins will. Harvey simply has not gotten the necessary volume, knowing that J.K. Dobbins is still in the offense. And you're playing against the Jets, who have traditionally been a good defense, despite them just being a terrible team overall this season. But yeah, that's what I got with this matchup. So I'm just going to move past it. Next matchup, we got number 7 Marmar versus number 9 Richie K, which is the game of the week. So this is our game of the week. I find this to be extremely close, but I'm going to give Marmar the slight edge in this matchup. Both of them 3-2, right? Both of them need to elevate, get a win, show that they're solidified in the playoff race. If you lose, you're 3-3. It's not the worst record to have. I mean, in the first 6 weeks, you're 3-3. That's average, right? But you want to truly, you want to get 4-2. You want to go up in the world. And with Marmar's team, I think he has the better matchups. Marmar has the better matchup, specifically with Caleb Williams playing Washington. I think this game will go crazy. I think maybe Josh Jacobs could go crazy against the Bengals, who have looked bad. You could see Laporta get a touchdown against the Chiefs, a team that you'll probably need to score 30 points to beat the Chiefs. So I'm preferring Marmar's side here over Richie K. Richie K has Lamar Jackson questionable. I don't know if he's going to play. I'm assuming he's going to play against the Rams. If he does, his rushing upside will be limited, but I still think he'll have a good game. Problem is, I don't know what Chase Brown will be with this new change in quarterbacking and Joe Flacco. And Travion Henderson has not looked the part, unfortunately, and it's mainly because of volume. He's not getting that volume. Despite his snap percentage, he's not getting the necessary attempts to be viable in fantasy. So, if I'm you, I'm just going to be benching Travion Henderson if I can for anyone who is currently scoring points, and I'll just wait to see the progress of Travion. And you go ahead and get Brian Thomas Jr. I'm fine with you going ahead and doing so. I actually preferred your side, and he's playing Seattle. Definitely start him. Definitely start Egbuka, who looks like he's going to have a Justin Jefferson level rookie year. I don't know. He looks incredible. Start him every week. But yeah, this is the game of the week. Honestly, if it goes either way, I'm fine with it. But I'm going to take Marmar 50-50 over Richie K. They're both really fine teams. It's just I'm gonna take the team that has a better matchup, like say Caleb Williams against Washington, Sam Laporta against the Chiefs, over a team that doesn't necessarily have these matchups and has like Travion Henderson starting. It's obvious that this format is much faster, so we're gonna be going into one of these final four matchups here with Team Master Beaner 41, new name by the way, versus Donovan's team. So with Master Beaner 41 with his team, I ranked him number 10, 0 and 5. Obviously, you need to win if you're this owner. And then with Donovan's team, they're 1 and 4, right? But I have him ranked just under at 11. So this could be another matchup where this could be game of the week. But since there's only one win in between, it's like 1 and 9 combined for these two teams. I'm not going to be putting them as team of, or game of the week. But yeah, definitely a game to watch. I will take Master Beaner 41 over Donovan just because this team needs a win desperately. They need to win, understanding that if you go 7 and 7, you have a chance. If you go 6 and 8, you probably don't have a chance. Yeah, Daniel Jones, Michael Pittman, they're playing the Cardinals. That looks like an easy matchup. HN's playing the Chargers. The Chargers don't look impressive. HM might be able to run the ball smoothly. Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt looks great. He actually broke out. He had 26 fantasy points against the Chargers. And now he's playing Chicago, a team that does not have a defense. And then in week 7, they're playing Dallas, who does not have a defense. Definitely a smash with JCM or just Bill. Stephon Diggs against the Saints, he pops off. He actually provides fantasy points to people who roster him. And now he's playing the Saints, a team that sucks. However, I don't know if this is going to be a longer trend with Stephon Diggs. I think it's just a one game thing where he is like his revenge game against Buffalo. Malik Washington is starting here. I would try to look for, I'll put Keenan Allen over Malik Washington, and then I would try to get somebody on from the bench, maybe Michael or Matthew Golden. Despite him looking whatever, I still think he has upside, and he's playing the Bengals, which would be the matchup to start him. Also, I would go ahead and consider starting Kyle Pitts over Travis Kelce. Kelsey's playing the Lions, and he looked good against the Jaguars despite the loss. Kyle Pitts playing Buffalo. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. I would probably stick to Kelsey, but that's on you. And with Donovan's team here, Dak is playing Carolina. He still does not have CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, in the last 2 weeks, he's done phenomenal. I'm trying to trade for him in my dynasty league. Donovan knows that he's a good player, so he's asking for value. However, He's playing the Panthers. I don't know if they're going to need to throw the ball against the Panthers. The Panthers are a bad team. They will probably just run the football with Javonte Williams, and they will probably win with that philosophy. McCaffrey looks like the best fantasy asset, potentially, maybe behind Puka Nacua, and Jonathan Taylor rivals him, right? But in running back, I would say he's the best, simply because he'd be like he would be a top 10 wide receiver in points per game if you just take his receiving marks. I mean, look at the targets: 10, 7, 15, 11, 9 in the first 5 weeks. Everything's green on this receiving list. And this guy's a running back. He hasn't scored a rushing touchdown yet. Drake London, Garrett Wilson, they all are fine. Joshua Palmer um, shouldn't be on anyone's starting roster, to be honest. I would definitely start Josh Downs over him. But yeah, start Chris Godwin and Josh Downs if you can. I would definitely not start Joshua Palmer at this point. But that's about it. I'm putting Donovan's team at um, at 11, and then Master Beaner's team here at 10. 3 matchups left. It's been quick. Let's go. Team Benedetti versus Richie Snake Sr. Benedetti is my number 1 ranked team this week. We're going to get to that. But first, we will go with Richie Snake Sr., who is my 12th ranked team. Immediately, you lose Hampton for 4 weeks. It doesn't look terrible. Okay. He's going to be missing week 6, week 7, week 8, week 9. He'll probably come back week 10 against Pittsburgh. If not, he's definitely going to be there week 11 in Jacksonville before the bye week. So that's a win. And you're also going to get him extra healthy for this stretch: 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's what you kind of want. At least he'll be healthy for the playoffs if you make it. Issue is making it there. You are 3-2. Benedetti's 3-2. You have the wins necessary, but you need to hold on, right? You do have Bijan Robinson coming back from bye, so you start Bijan Robinson over the injured Hampton. You definitely start Kenneth Walker. I don't like your receivers. They're okay, I guess. Jerry Jeudy looks bad. Straight bad. Again, another 2-point dud week. And you're playing Pittsburgh, one of the best defenses in the league. So how are you going to get Jerry Jeudy the ball? I don't know. His targets are still there, but he needs better work than this. And then you have Evan Ingram against the Jets. Against the Eagles, he did good because of the touchdown, but I don't think you can just depend on that each and every week. But unfortunately for this team, that is the only tight end rostered. So what I would recommend with this team, Richie Snake Sr., is to go ahead and trade for one of the good tight ends in the league. Maybe a team like Winton, my team, who has 2 elite tight ends. One of them could be traded. Another team that I was thinking of is the Kyle Pitts team, who also has Travis Kelce. You can go ahead and trade for one of them. That will be better than Evan Ingram. On the other side of the aisle, we have the best team in the league this week, week 6. We have Bryce Young playing Dallas. I think he's going to have to throw the ball. Dallas has not had a good defense. Despite me thinking that Bryce Young will probably lose this game, I think he will do good against Dallas, which we don't actually need him to do good against Dallas. What we need is for everyone else to do good, and he is the best asset in fantasy football. Puka Nacua, he just does this every week. He gets at least 10 targets a game and at least like 8 to 10 catches a game. He's on pace to beat 2019 Cooper Cup level. So he's much better than Jamar Chase last year. If you have him, you keep him. Now let's see if he can build a team around Puka Nacua to win a league. AJ Brown's been highly disappointing, despite him getting 6 points. His targets have been there. He's had the opportunity, somewhat of an opportunity, I grant you. A lot of these balls that I saw, especially against like Tampa Bay, were over his head. So I don't know. I don't know if you can really truly start AJ Brown despite him having all these targets. I think you do, because his talent is there and he's playing the Giants. But if you tell me that he's getting 6 points, I would probably agree with you. I'd probably say, oh yeah, getting 6 points, That's kind of his thing. I'm not super hyped about it, but you do have Jalen Waddle, who's now the wide receiver one in um, Miami. So I think he's going to be doing much better than what he normally would do with Tyreek Hill in the lineup, despite him going against number one corners. I think Tucker Kraft actually has a good matchup as well against the Bengals. Puka against the Ravens is going to ball out, of course. And then Chuba Hubbard, I don't know if he didn't practice Wednesday. He didn't play last week, which was a surprise to me. This is why I actually got Rico Dowdle off waivers. I went ahead and got him, and obviously it worked out because he scored 30 fucking fantasy points. He had 200 yards, that dude. More than that. Rico Dowdle went crazy against Miami, and now he's playing Dallas. If Chuba Hubbard's playing, you start him. If he's not playing, you put ETN in the position, and then oh yeah, Rashad White. If you have Rashad White on the bench, you have problems. He just got a 21-point game against Seattle. It's because Bucky Irving is out. He'll be out for another couple weeks, possibly. So starting him against the Niners makes a ton of sense. Go ahead, start him over Chuba Hubbard. Down to the final two matchups, we're gonna go with Hit and Rug and Knights of Templar, the new branding. I love the new branding. I straight love it. So with Hit and Rug, I went ahead and moved him to number 3. So it's a slight move down, but I still think it's about the same team. Still a really damn good team. And then with Knights of Templar, I moved them to number 8. So another small tick down. However, I think again, this is kind of the same team, right? It's just matchup dependent. Ashton Genty plays the Titans. I want to talk about Knights of Templar first because I think they're the underdog in this matchup. I have Knights of Templar losing to Hit and Rug, and if we look, Titans are not scary at all. Genty will probably run them over. Like Tennessee looks like a college team. Yeah, Genty's gonna pop off. What I want to see is what Roma Dunze will do for your team. I think this is an amazing matchup for Roma Dunze. With Adunze, he is the clear alpha in the offense now. He's going to be leading the team in receiving every week, in my opinion. He should be leading in targets for sure. And I mean, he's definitely the one. He's a young player. He's an ascending asset, great talent. Now, this team is currently starting Ryan Flournoy. Who the fuck is Ryan Flournoy? Has anyone heard of him? Okay. He's a Cowboy. He had 9 targets, 6 catches, 114 yards against the Jets. This would be the matchup to start Ryan Flournoy. I've never fucking heard of him, but go ahead. Start Ryan Flournoy if you want. You'd probably still win. I don't know if you want to disrespect Knights of Templar by starting Ryan Flournoy, but I would personally go ahead and start Keon Coleman over Flournoy, and then I would look to start. You can argue start Jalen Hurts against the Giants, but if Pearsall plays, you start him. If not, I would actually look to start players like Jonnu Smith over Flournoy. But yeah, that's it with this matchup. I think Knights of Templar got a win to get into the playoff hunt. I truly think that they are in the hunt right now, but if they go 2-4, they're going to be starting to slip out of that hunt mode. And I do legitimately want to see Knights of Templar win some games. And then with Hit and Rug, 4-1, one of the main teams looking for that first seed and the bye week. Still one game behind, but I think they're a strong contender for that. And then the final matchup of the week, we got Show Me Your TDs versus Team Salty Beaner here. With Salty Beaner, I have them ranked number 4, going up incredibly. And then Show Me Your TDs, I have number 13. We're going to be going over them 2-3, 2-3. Both of these teams need a win to stay in the hunt. The reason I like this team more on the right is because they have Jaden Daniels, which I assume will play against Chicago. I don't expect Chicago to have an elite defense. I think Jaden Daniels will have a fantastic game against Chicago, and it will be a high-scoring affair. And that's partly why I like Deebo Samuel and Zach Ertz here, who will probably get a large part of that volume. Now, I think this team lives and dies off the Commanders, and if they have a bad game, then probably this team will win. Show me your TDs over here. But you still have Derrick Henry, which he's been bad. Like, he's been bad, but if Lamar comes back, then he can start being good again. It depends on Lamar Jackson. It depends on how the offense is operated, knowing that Lamar's probably not, even if he plays, he's probably not going to immediately have that same rushing upside. So um, start him at your own peril. And then you're not starting Tootin. What you're actually starting is DeAndre Swift, who was just on the bye here. But you're going to start Swift, and then you still have Njoku, Mason Taylor. You can start whoever you want at tight ends. They're about the same to me. You just need to watch the Juwan Jennings injury. If he's out, you've got to go ahead and pivot over to a player like Luther Burden. And then with Show Me Your TDs, this is the final team we're talking about here. You have Demercado pretty much losing his job. You do not start him. I think he fumbles at the 1 yard line. Yeah, I mean, what an embarrassment. Do not start him against the Colts. He's the backup to Michael Carter. And then you have Alvin Kamara with the injury issue. He has an ankle injury. I don't know if he's playing against the Patriots. If he does, start him. If not, you have to make a move. You have to pivot. J.K. Dobbins, easy start, right? That's your first running back. What's your second running back? Well, it's not Bucky Irving, who's going to be out multiple weeks, right? So it looks like we're going to be scraping at the barrel. Let's go put Chris Rodriguez in. And he just scored not even 1 point last week. Maybe you want to look at waivers because, like, this is starting to get disgusting. For receivers, if McLaurin doesn't play, which I actually don't expect McLaurin or Lamb to play this week, I recommend going ahead and starting Romeo Dobbs for sure. And then, hell, start Troy Franklin against the Jets. Maybe something will happen there, but I don't expect anything else to potentially help you. I would definitely start Mark Andrews against the Rams. That's going to be a good matchup for him, but I think that's about it. I mean, Herbert does have a really bad offensive line that we might want to talk about, but he's playing the Dolphins. This is one of the easiest matchups of his season, so I think he's going to be able to exploit that, and I don't think they're going to be able to run the football, so it's going to be a lot of Herbert against Miami. But I think that's about it with this matchup. I have Salty Beaner winning, but that's about it. I'll see y'all next week. If you enjoy the content, like it, subscribe. I hope people are watching, because if no one watches, it's not worth. But if at least one person's watching, then it is worth.